G'day guys, welcome back to the podcast. If you're enjoying the content, you're enjoying everything that is the Inner City Hermit, make sure you go over to iTunes, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe there. You know what it is. I don't even have to tell you. Just go subscribe. You get updated all the time. The other thing is, if you like seeing my face all the time, go over to Instagram and Facebook at InnerCityHermit. You can keep up to date there. I've been posting. I'm really into my memes lately, so get around the memes, share some stuff, give some support. Yeah, there you go. I'm getting quicker and quicker at that. How good. My guest today is an absolute fucking local music legend. I sat down with Jake Collins, aka Mr. Tins&Gigs. This bloke I've actually never met him. This is the first sort of time I've actually chatted to him, and we clicked immediately. It was definitely like a stepbrothers sort of situation where we were like, did we just become best friends? But Tins&Gigs is just one of the... It's honestly so underrated how awesome it is. It needs more followers. It's just shedding light on local music and interviewing bands. And Jake is... Man, I can't even say a bad word about the bloke after chatting to him. He's the nicest dude. His heart's in the right place. He's exactly the type of person I want to have on the podcast. And it was awesome. We chatted music. We chatted social media. We chatted about everything. And I had an absolute blast. I can't wait to do another one with him in person. But without further ado, you know what it is. Inner City Hermit with Jake Collins, aka Mr. Tins&Gigs. Get ready for this one. G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of the Inner City Hermit. I am very lucky today. I feel like we've been talking for 5 minutes, mate, and I feel like we're long lost brothers. I have Jake Collins, Mr. Tins&Gigs. How are you, brother?
Oh, so bloody good. Even better be joining you with a tinny over the Wi-Fi waves, I guess.
Yeah, cyber airways, our Zoom airways, whatever the fuck it is. Mate, firstly, before we even start anything, your fucking background is iconic. We've just spoken about it, but I have to bring it back on the podcast. Can you just move left and right and show us what we're working with there? Because your setup is phenomenal, brother.
So this neat little bar, that is a print from California, that photograph of all them bull terriers there and the bulldog. That's from like 1993. Got that out of an op shop. Just got like classic old stubby coolers.
Oh, dude. Are they the ones with like the styrofoam in it? Oh,
yeah.
Bro. I love it, man.
My personal fave.
Oh, fuck yes. Mate, that's
just
unreal.
Old school. Yeah.
Mate, I love those old, like, fat as fuck stubby coolers. Like, there's something like, I don't know, there's something sort of like nostalgic about them because my old man used to drink out of them. And so, like, you get the real thin ones. Yeah, man, I fucking love it. My old man's got like this old school like 4X1, and mate, I literally can't fit it into my hand because the fucking thing's so big, but it's so fucking iconic to drink out of it. I love it, man. Nah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say before we even start talking about beers, I probably should actually talk about why I got you on the podcast. We could probably talk for days about beers and stuff, but I'll let you sort of get started. So, for those of you who don't know, Jake runs, I would say your brand, Tins&Gigs, does not get as much recognition as it should. It's fucking the most unreal, like, local music Instagram account that I've ever found. Yeah, man, I fucking love what you do. So can you sort of explain what Tins&Gigs is about so I don't butcher it? Because I fucking love it, but I want to hear it from you.
You're going to make me blush, man. Do you want me to start sort of from the start-ish or just like...
Yeah, bro, I want to hear it all, man. We've got a fucking whole hour, man. You take your time.
Mad. All right, well, so the way, I guess, the name itself first come about was just a bit of a fuck around, like, in a Facebook group with mates and that. We called it Blueberry Tins because we always have this fight about like Tui's New and 4X bitters. We call the 4X bitters blood blisters and the other one's blueberries. So yeah, up. So
I got you covered, brother. I got the Maroons edition too.
that's how it started out. So it was just a shitty little group chat about hitting up festivals together with mates. It was called Blueberry Tins and Indie Gigs or something. Like that was
Yeah.
just the group chat name. And yeah, that's all it was about. It was just like a festival would drop, we'd post it in there, see who's keen, start organising that. It was just like an area for us to organise getting together and getting on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that sort of, I don't know, one of our mums just said it jokingly, was like, fuck, you'd be laughing if you could get paid to go to festivals. And then like, I just sort of started, like a little brainworm got in me, and I was just like, that sounds pretty fucking good. Like,
Yeah, fucking oath.
So 2 years down the track now, which is fucking crazy. I can't believe we've been gone for 2 years. Can't say we've made any money yet, but we've definitely had a whole lot of fucking fun. Yeah, so it's been really cool. So it just sort of started out as fucking nothing really. Like I sort of just decided to have a go. I thought, fuck it,
Oh man, I love that, especially if you're with your mates doing it too. Like you just, it's, I think that the thing about like Tins and Gigs that I love too is it's like, I feel like it's just such a mates thing. Like when I sort of see Tins and Gigs, even the way you structure sort of like, I don't know whether you consider them like podcasts or interviews, but they just seem like really very mate orientated, and that's what I love about it. You kind of see the bands that you sort of interview, and everything is very like, there's a lot of mateship and camaraderie about it, which is fucking so good. Like I think that's something that for you guys you do so well, is like everything, like even the way sort of you treat bands is like your mates, and I think that makes people feel so comfortable. So like, hearing some of your interviews, like bands are just so cool with it, which I think, you guys are killing it. Like you're creating waves. That's why I want you guys to fucking get a massive following, because what you're doing is fucking unreal.
Dude, it would be good. And like, it's so, I'm so glad you said that actually, because that's sort of the whole, I guess, I don't know, vision or whatever word you want to put to it. But like, that's sort of how I do try to do it, is I call it like a comfortable level of awkwardness when I rock in there for the interviews. Like, and it's just however they're comfortable. And I just walk in there like, do we need to sit here? Do you want us to do that? Do that? I just tell them, I just say, do whatever you're comfortable doing. It's about you. Let's just kick it. Let's hang. Let's just talk. And I think that really helps, like coming from, like you said, like that sort of mateship camaraderie. Like it's more like just going to hang out. It's like, I don't care about any fucking hot scoops or any drama or controversy or that sort of shit. Like I just want to meet all these great people having a go, and that's basically what it is. And that's like all the bands I've talked to, like I just see them as these people really honing in their own craft, doing what they love. And like what it comes down to is they're having a fucking go, and like anyone having a go at whatever it is they like is just fucking sick. So
yeah, man, I really like sort of resonate with that. Even like with kind of what I'm doing with this is, it's like the whole sort of, you're like such a good platform for up and coming bands to sort of, because I mean it's all well and good to appreciate the music and everything, but I think where you really enjoy the music is where you sort of find like an emotional connection with the band. Like if you understand them on a human level, like, oh yeah, I know this guy, I heard this interview with him, I feel like I know him kind of, so I feel more invested in his music. Like, I was talking to Connor from Bugs in a previous podcast, and they've sort of engineered them such a positive, such sort of like a positive fan base, because they're just nice guys, and they come across on like social media as just really nice guys, and that makes you want to listen to them more. And you giving people a platform for that is so awesome. Like and I'm not just saying this because we're recording, I genuinely think it's fucking awesome. So like, I love that, and the whole idea of a tin wag is fucking unreal. Like,
it was actually so. I don't know if he remembers this, but Billy from Hockey Dad actually came up with that term first. So,
oh really?
We were hanging out, So that was my first ever tin wag, was with Hockey Dad. So
that is huge too, to have like them as one of your first, mate. That's fucking brilliant.
It was dead set the first. I had no idea what I was doing. They weren't even aware of it. So I sort of, and this is how a lot of like probably the first 10 or so happened, is I just like jot a few questions down or something, go to the gig or wherever they're playing and just hit them up after. I'd be like, hey, my name's Jake. I'm doing this thing, wondering if you just want to sit down and have a quick chat or whatever. And like, everyone's always stoked. So, and they were no different. So that was the first ever one. And I think that like definitely helped with a lot of confidence in getting started and stuff like that. So yeah, so they were more than warming. It was at Sonic Sherpa in Brisbane, which is a fucking like a dope record store. And they were doing a record store tour. So like they were in a van just going and playing a heap of free shows at record stores and that. And yeah, just went and saw the show, hit them up afterwards, and they were like, yeah, let's do it right now. And we literally just sat there and cracked the tinny on the steps at the record store.
Oh, yes.
And that's where we shot it. It was completely off the bat. They were so keen. And yeah, we're having the tinny. We were just talking about Chinwags, talking about the name of it. And yeah, and Billy just said like Tinwags, that would be fucking sick. And we just kept it like that ever since.
Man, it's so awesome to come from like someone like a band from Hockey Dad to sort of just be like, yeah, dude, let's do this. Like, did you sort of have any like sort of pre-existing ambition to interview like, you know, a lot of bands, or was that sort of that spark that you were like, holy fuck, like I should do this more often? Like, how did it sort of work out like that?
Yeah, so originally I actually wanted to talk more to record store owners and like production crew and even seckies and bar staff, like, and I still plan to, but yeah, it's become mainly band orientated, which like I'm stoked with. But yeah. What I want to get to eventually is shedding light on different aspects of the industry and surrounding industries, because it's hard to pigeonhole like the music industry is one thing, because like inside that heavily tied is you know, like breweries and stuff like that, like all that sort of thing, hence Tins&Gigs. And then so I really want to shed light on some aspects of people deeply embedded in the scene that have never or don't get much credit or anything, any light shown on them. Like I want to try shine the light on the areas that, people don't know a lot about.
Yeah, man, because so much work. And I've only recently sort of after, it wasn't actually until like sort of I started digging into it more, but like how many people are actually behind the scenes that are so sort of important in the whole process, yet the recognition is sort of, I'm not saying it's not there. Like if you appreciate the art, it's obviously going to be there, but for those people who sort of don't really understand music but love music, which is a lot of people love music but don't, like I'm one of them, man. I don't fucking know the next thing about sort of playing an instrument, but I love music.
Yeah.
And getting an appreciation for the production side of things, like it's wild, man. It's so much effort and work and sort of piecing it together. Like hearing that is so fucking valuable for people too. They have a better appreciation for it too.
Yeah, it's cool. Like even like venue owners, like just bookers and stuff like that. Even the people on the door, like it's so crazy just how many cogs are in this beautiful machine, you know. And of course, like fans, they go to the festivals and they're just like in awe at their favorite band on stage, and that's sort of what it's all about. But it's like, yeah, it's just so cool how many like interconnecting things and like what experiences led them there, and just like how it all actually comes about to be, you know, this band performing on a show, you know, like someone's got to organize the audio, the this, the that, just like everything, you know. It's really cool.
Oh, bro, I love it, man. I love it. You also, so you've obviously got the video sort of side of things, the interviews, but you actually run a blog as well, eh?
Yeah. So we do just touch base on different things. So it's fallen mainly into beer reviews lately, which we just call brew reviews.
Which is the best. Brew review, once again, mate, I don't know how the fuck you're coming up with these things, but they're so fucking good.
I loved English in school.
Tinwags. Oh, bro, so good.
I think like I loved English in school, and like even different things like alliterations and just like different words on play. And then even like earlier when I was younger, like I was heaps into rap, and I always just found I just love intricate lyrics, you know, or double entendres, can't even say the word, but like things with like a double meaning and stuff. And like it's just really cool. Like words are cool. And so like with the brew reviews, Tinwags, like all that stuff, and tune reviews, and like yeah, fuck, I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah,
So many
I had
ideas.
it. I had it.
I should have mentioned. So
Honestly, I
yeah,
had it in my head, and I started thinking about English lessons at school, and then I started thinking about how much I actually loved English and forgot what I was fucking tying that into. But
oh, it was you're talking about, we were talking about the word, how like your names for things are like brilliant, but we were talking about the brew reviews, sort of like the blog sort of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, I'll
Yes.
just tie back into that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a running blog at the moment. It's cool. I've got one of my friends, Sharpie, starting to write and contribute with us, which is really
Yeah.
cool. Also takes a bit of weight off my shoulders,
For sure, man.
because I'd love to be reviewing like 24/7, or like, you'd love to be involved the whole time, but that downtime is really important. Um,
Yeah, for sure,
I'm
man.
a I'm a fairly highly strung character to begin with, in amongst work and this and that and that and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really cool having that blog aspect there to still have content flowing through for people that are interested in between times where I can't get to an interview or stuff like that. And especially, during this pandemic, it's
Oh man, people are just vacuums for content right now. So like, if you have a big back catalog, like that's the benefit of it, man. If someone discovers you and they might hear one thing, like they might hear one interview, but if you got a back catalog of everything, bro, like that's how you hook people. That's how you hook them in, eh? Like just having that
yeah.
constant content.
I hope someone gets caught in like a little like Tins and Gigs video hole on Facebook or something.
Oh,
That'd be pretty
bro,
cool.
that was legit me last night. I was literally like, oh, like it wasn't even a prep. Like I pretty much knew, like I knew exactly, like I followed you for long enough that I knew exactly what I was going to
Which
talk
is so
about.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, oh fuck, like I'm just gonna go through and have a look at like all the old interviews that you've done and everything like that. And what do you have one interview where you sort of did the interview and you're like, holy fuck, like I love this, like this is amazing. Was it the first one, or was there? So is it like choosing your favorite kid?
No, it's not at all. Like that. Like
Oh really?
I could basically remember individual ones.
Fuck yeah.
For a long while. So this is dead set. For probably the first year, I borderline felt unworthy to be what I was doing. Like I was. It's only sort of the last few months I've started being confident and just thinking, I think mum told me or something. She was like, just keep going, just fucking own it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, mum, I will. And
That's it,
it's
eh?
literally,
That's
yeah,
it.
probably the last 3 or 4 months is when I've become really confident with it. The whole rest, like the over a year, I was wondering, what the fuck am I doing? Am I wasting all these people's time? Yeah, it was an uphill battle for a while, just in myself. But yeah, after seeing how much the bands appreciate it, people like you coming in who are like, yo, I've been following you on my personal Instagram, and like,
Yeah,
it's
man.
just fucking crazy, the people you meet. And that's actually what's really made me stick with it, is I love meeting all these people, and just hearing about their different walks in life, different experiences and stuff. Like,
Dude, it is so wild that I have not come in contact with you before. We're literally fucking the same person, bro. 100%. I was literally listening to you talk just then, and I was literally thinking about, even down to like the whole not feeling worthy. Man, when I started this podcast, I would interview people, and fair play, like I was interviewing like my mates and stuff. But if I had like man, that whole interview with Connor and like even sort of other people as well, like I just felt like you felt like you shouldn't have been there. Like you're like, why would someone sort of want to take their time to sort of talk to me? But I think just that, like, I think in that itself, it shows how much you just judging it from like, what you're saying, but we seem to be very like, if you care that much, as in if you care what they think that much, it obviously means that you're really into what you're doing. And I think that's where you sort of find your feet. Like you find your feet after a while of like, hey, like I'm getting better at this. Like I'm getting good at this. Like I am sort of in what your mum said. Like I'm going to own it. Like that. My girlfriend says it to
yeah,
me all the time. She's like, do not give up. Don't fucking stop,
nah,
because
not an option. It's just simply not an option. And
yeah,
then like what you come to find is that, like, a lot of the bands and people we're talking about have that same attitude, and that's why they are where
yeah,
they are. That's why they are doing what they're doing. Is because, like, like giving up it's just not a fucking option, you know?
Yeah, man. And we're all creatives at the end of the day. We're all, even though we're doing
Yes,
different genres, we're all creating something that we want for other people. Like whether it's a
100%.
podcast, music, a Twitch stream, we're all creating something for other people. So I think they can definitely resonate with sort of people like you and me, because
Yeah.
we're essentially doing similar things, just in a different method, you know?
And hopefully, like, I sort of hope people see, like, even like see an interview, you know, where I am being a bit awkward and like fuck up people words, or like you see me visibly embarrassed or something. Like, I hope people watch that and it sort of gives them confidence or something like that.
Yeah, I love that, man.
I'll just say quickly earlier, like when I was talking about how like I try to do it on like a real like personal level where it's a relatable level. So it feels like you're hanging out with them through me, sort of thing. And that's actually how I feel. Like that's the vibes I get from you. Like it felt like we were mates. As soon as we connected up, I was just like, hey, and then so
yeah, man.
I just wanted to say you're very comfortable to talk to.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
I appreciate that massively, man. Because like the thing that I love about it is, you know, you can, and it's sort of stemmed from seeing interviews in the past. Like I fucking hate the idea of somebody being like, hey, I'm going to interview. These are the 3 questions. You have 15 seconds to answer each question because I only have a minute with you. Like, what the fuck do you get out of that, man? If someone's comfortable and, you know, is willing to sit down and they've got time to think and explain themselves, it's amazing what you get out of them, man. Like, you get conversations like this. You get, for example, 2 people who have never met who can see exact values in each other. And like all of a sudden, like bang, you've got like a really good flowing conversation that has no restrictions, has no like, oh fuck, I need to be here, or oh mate, I only got one more question. No, it's the best, man. And I think now that podcasting and that this sort of interview sort of style is taking off, bands are way more willing. And I mean, this is subjective to me, but bands seem way more willing to be a part of that sort of interview because they can go, hey, we can be ourselves. No one's going to judge us. That's like, right. I don't give a fuck what people do on my podcast, man, as long as they're having a good time. You know, like, and maybe they're not like, legit, man. Like whatever, man, whatever. As long as I don't get fucking pulled off YouTube, I don't give a fuck. So I love that style. So, and it's really cool that suited, like, even down to just sort of having that, being able to resonate with someone like yourself is so good, and it's motivating for me. Like I feed off that shit as well. Hearing you do like things that you loved, I'm just like, fuck yeah, man. That's what I want to hear. Like who the fuck wants to hear someone that's like, yeah, man, I gave up that, and like, fuck that. I want people to keep going, man. It's the best.
Yeah, and I feel like stuff like this, like you said, like people like ricochet off each other, and it's almost like, I guess that's why, like I was talking earlier about how many cogs are in the beautiful machine, you know, and it's because we all work together, because we feel that sort of stuff. We ricochet off that sort of stuff, you know. So like where you're feeling, you know, like motivated to keep going by watching other stuff, that's exactly it, you know. Like I'm feeling motivated just in this very moment from doing this, you know. It's just like there's already stuff going off in my head, like about, I don't know, future plans and stuff like that. It's very cool. And you're right, like the people you surround yourself with has a lot to do with that. So if you're around them downer sort of people, everyone has down days, you know, not kicking anyone for being down. It happens to everyone. But there comes a point, like if you realize you're around a lot of them type of people, you will notice it affecting you negatively, and that's not something we want. So when there are people resonating with each other as we are, you know, like I feel like we're the type of people we need to be surrounding ourselves with, if that makes sense.
Man,
like
for sure. Yeah. That's the best thing about it, man. The thing that I've sort of discovered in the whole sort of podcasting realm is like there's so many people to link up with. Like, you know, there's you, and like, dude, 100% straight after this podcast, man, I'm putting you onto my mate Darcy, who runs Bloody Brilliant Beers.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally, man, you need to do a podcast with him. Like I'm literally so tempted to pick up my phone and be like, dude, you have to do a podcast. Yeah, bro, because like he will it's and it's jumping off each other. Like, you know, like, hey, you jump on my podcast, I'll jump on yours. And you end up with this just community of creators. And like, I had these two blokes, right? I mention them all the time because I fucking love them. I think they're the funniest blokes. Big Shitty Life podcast. They like called me out as like a joke. Like, I knew it was a joke. Like, they were like talking shit. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's start some beef. Come on my podcast. Bro, these guys were the funniest dudes. And I was like, as soon as the podcast ended, I was like, guys, don't stop creating shit because you are fucking funny. And it just builds like a network. Like, and to have like a network in Brisbane, like, that's what you need, man. It just bounces off each other. It like, oh shit, like he's got a new episode. Fuck, let's get creating. I want to get my shit out there too.
Wait, Brizzy, I'm glad you mentioned Brizzy. It has such a fucking good scene. Like,
oh man, I'm sick of hearing everyone like, I'm sick of hearing like everyone like, oh, Sydney, Melbourne. I'm like, fuck you, man. You don't understand what goes on in Brisbane, dude. Like, that's one of the whole reasons. Yeah, that's one of the whole reasons I started this. I was like, fucking, I want to get this. I want people to see the cool shit that happens. I don't want to see people like, oh, fuck Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne. That's where it's at. It's like, no, dude. We have. Like, what you look at bands, Violent Soho, Brisbane.
They just come on the radio.
Brisbane.
I don't know if you can hear it through there, but yeah,
bro, I heard it.
Literally just come on the radio.
Yeah. Oh man, see, do you reckon they're legit fucking playing like what's their fucking song? I can't remember what the song they're playing. I saw James's post just before. Do you reckon they're actually gonna play it at Suncorp?
Oh, like that little radio thing they're doing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's
something
apparently it's at 11. There. Oh man, well I just checked out. Like, it came up on my news feed. Yeah, I didn't read it, so I don't want to really get distracted by it. But, bro, fucking just putting it out there right now, I think James is the greatest thing to happen to music in Brisbane from Soho.
Bro, he's the man. He's the man. Just quickly, that, like, this favorite stubby girl, I actually reckon, like, that's James.
Just fucking oath, man. Just add hair to him, and he's good.
Just laughing. Yeah. It's fucking... Yeah, no, you're spot on. Like, he does. He just gets it. Like, he just fucking gets it. He's a music loving dude, and that attitude I feel is what. How do I put this? Like, he's a true music fan, and I feel like the attitude he has towards music is so fucking good. So he said somewhere, I can't remember what it was on. Oh, it was on. I missed it. It was on The Project on TV, and you know he sort of said, if you like a band's music, go and buy it. Like that's what it's about. And I feel like almost, you know, that give an inch, take a mile. I feel like a lot of people fucking take a mile these days.
Oh, definitely, man. It's that like influencer syndrome, man. Influencer syndrome. They feel like, I have leverage. I should be getting this for free. It's like, no, dude, fuck you.
Yeah. It's like it's in one of Junie's new songs. It says, I'll just have a quick squiz on my phone.
Did they drop a brand new one?
It says I'm not sure, like off their recent album, their most recent album. It damn, I just had it. It's like all they ever want is a little bit more. All they ever want, and like it almost feels like sometimes fans are like that, where they like, you know, a festival gets announced and everyone just bags out that it's not a good lineup or something like that. Like that isn't what it's about. Like there was months and months and months of like these people taking a mile and like whatever. If you don't like the bands on there, don't fucking go. Like you don't need to slam this festival, these organizers, and it happens across the board where like, it seems like the new thing is to just shame festivals for their lineups, which just seems like such a bogus thing to me.
It shits me up the wall, eh? Like, and it comes down to like, and like it's that I don't know what it is about, and it's a very sort of immature look at things, but it's as if people like they need to be against the grain. Like, you know, you'll see Splendor come out and you're like, fuck yeah. For me, dude, and you'd be exactly the same. The bands we listen to, they're always at Aussie festivals. So regardless of the festival, I don't care what the fuck it is, there's always going to be a good lineup for me. Like the last Splendor I went to, dude, it was like a triple threat of like Hockey Dad, Junies, then I think it was Soho. Like, that's my. I would pay the whole Splendor money to go see those three bands, bro. That's it, and it was all one after each other. So, firstly, I was like, "Fuck, how am I going to stay blind for all three of these?" But the second thing, it was like Euphoria. But there's always someone that hears all the hype about a festival and then goes, oh man, like, nah, it's shit. It was better last year. It's like, no, fuck, dude, don't say that.
Always better last year, eh? Like, that's what they say.
I'm just like, don't say that because you want to be different or you want to be the black sheep and like be like, oh, well, or why do you think that? Like, dude, I hate that negative sort of shit because, and that was one thing that I was just like, I was getting to a point where I was just like, I'm over this. Like, it would literally be like my Facebook feed. Someone would say that, I'd be like, fuck just you, whinging. Gone. Yeah, bro, just whinging.
People need to form their own opinion, and I think that's what it ties into. Is like it's almost like they become part of the herd by trying to be the black sheep. Like trying to be the black sheep has sort of become the new norm. You know what I mean? Like
man.
It's always like, no, I'm uncool. No, I'm way uncooler than you. It's like, well, I still wear flip flops. I don't know. Like it's almost like a competition. But if the majority is doing that, you're no longer unique. You know, fucking. No,
and it's just
you need to form your own opinions. People. I think people struggle to form their own opinions these days. Like. Because it's so much easier to have shit fucking thought out for you. You know, if you're just like with following directions or something, you'd get by fine. You probably wouldn't enjoy anything or be sad about anything, but you would get by. And like, I feel like a lot of people just piggyback other people's opinions these days.
Oh,
trying to be that black sheep, but then it like finds that it brings them into that solidarity. You know, they want to be like that. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's funny like that. And that happens for a lot of things just in people doing anything. Like you look at like, dude, 25-year-old bloke, me starting a podcast. Do you know how much shit I copped for the first 10 episodes? Then all of a sudden, man, you get to episode 40 and 50, you start getting some better guests and all of a sudden someone's like, oh, man, I might start a podcast. And I was like, fuck, don't do that, you motherfucker. Like, do it, go for it. But I'm like, don't tell me now that you've changed. Like,
after he bagged you about it.
After you, like, make me eat dicks for, like, I don't really particularly care. But I'm also like, man, it just looks bad on you, dude. Like,
and you eat dicks for fun anyway, so it wouldn't matter. No.
But it's like, I guess it's that oversaturation of people's opinions. And I guess because people are sitting out there looking at phones 24/7, like, they're getting all their values from others. Whereas, like, you know, people like you and me, we're editing our own shit. So everything that we see is all us. Yeah. Like the amount of times I'll look at Instagram and I'll be like, Instagram for me now is not a pleasure thing. I don't sit there like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this next week. It's like, you know, it's about sort of analyzing stuff now. It's like, you know, how can I use this to sort of help my brand grow or something like that? So
it's more of a drag, honestly, like going on Facebook and that. Like, man. I put like a joke post up the other day. Do you remember Dolan comics? Like way back. Like Dolan please. But like, I don't know. It was just so funny. Like when Facebook started out, it was this scene where you'd like go on when you're like 13 or 14 and like you'd be chatting to this like girl you like from school or something. Like there was a couple statuses. No, they were all just, it's definitely Farmville. They were all just like for likes and like stuff like that. And that's sort of what it was. And that was like, we were spending a lot of time on it, but it was just like a very face-to-face thing, you know. There were no ads, there were no like algorithms to my knowledge.
It was sort of very innocent. It was really innocent.
It was a lot more innocent than it is now. And like, but yeah, you're definitely spot on there with like stuff like social media is directly linked to people not being able to form their own opinions anymore, short attention spans, like all that kind of stuff. It's just easy because like a festival, like, you know, and because it's all there, it's all ready to go on social media. So like they'll share that lineup. So easy for everyone to share it then, and like one person shares it, says that they don't like, and it's just so easy these days for stuff to cascade like that.
And I think the fact that social media, it's a positive in that it gives everyone a voice, but it's a negative too that it gives everyone a voice. Like, because you will have people who realistically shouldn't. I'm not saying shouldn't have a voice, but their opinions are so like, I guess, self-centered. Like, oh, I need to hate this. Like, I need to be that person that's so negative on anything, so I get attention. And people ask me like, oh, why do you think that? Like, so, you know, it's one of those things where, and then all of a sudden it sort of becomes gospel. Like, people are like, oh, this person said this, so. Like, I don't know, I have this like ongoing sort of thing where I like, do you know Isaac Butterfield at all?
No, can't say I do.
He's like this edgy sort of comedian, but he gets a lot of his and I like the bloke. He's a fucking funny dude, but he gets a lot of his following by making people angry. Like he has this big thing against cyclists. Like I don't particularly love cycling either. Like yeah, it's whatever. They get in my way, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they love. It's not affecting me. Who the fuck cares? But
That's right.
He started this hatred against them. But people love that because they're feeding. They're like I just picture them like Jabba the Hutt just sitting there with like hate, just like, oh yes, give me all this hate. You know? Yeah. And it's just like it's all well and good. It's easy for people to watch things that they hate so they can hate on it. But for them to find something that they enjoy is so difficult for people nowadays for some stupid reason.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. And on top of all that, like what's really difficult and why there's so many people like this is people... It's not that I don't think it's that they struggle to relate to other people. It's that they blatantly don't fucking want to, or like they don't care or something. And that's what it is. So it's way easier to hang shit on that cyclist being a cyclist. Why do you hate him? Because he's a cyclist, you know? Like they have no real opinion, no real theory or anything.
You're like, has he hurt you emotionally or something?
All the other blokes at work, you know, talk shit about cyclists. Oh, I'm going to too, you know? And that's so easy to hang shit on people. Like that's why people take the easy route too often. And then what's the hard part is relating to that cyclist, thinking, wow, I wonder why that dude likes riding bikes. I wonder if he has a car. Does he do it for fun? Does he do it for fitness? Is he fucking, I don't know, does he have to do it for some reason? Or exactly, I think people just can't be bothered, or they don't want to try and relate to another person. So it's just much easier to say what they don't like.
Yeah, and I think too the fact that it's online as well, it allows people who, and like I know it seems like we're sort of I know it seems like we're kind of whinging, and like I'm not really. It's a whinge to because I want that to change. That's something that I really
outside
want to
observation, I'd call it.
Yeah, that's an outside. I don't particularly care. Like if you want to sit behind your computer and be a Karen and argue in the comments section of some fucking Curia Mail post, then go for it, whatever. But it's just so like you just think about how much energy these people are putting into the hate. You're just like, hey man, like instead of sitting at your keyboard just fucking, you know, replying back for the 50th time to Derek, who you don't even know, who lives in a different state because his opinion's different to yours.
And he doesn't care.
And he doesn't. Dude, I know so many people who literally are just like, you know, I'm just going to jump in the comment section, like just for fuck around and try and trigger some people. And I'm like, you can do that now because all you'd have to do is find someone with like such a different opinion to your own and be like, also, I disagree with you. And then it's just like, fucking bang. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people have a hard time. I guess, I guess I could be guilty of this in the past. Like, people have a hard time with other people disagreeing with them. And over time, like I've definitely learned, especially doing this type of stuff, you know, you can't have that attitude. And, you know, you just need to, it's a fact. People will disagree with you. Get over it, basically, or do what you need to do to cope with it. But like, people are going to disagree with a lot of the things you do, and that's fine because they don't have to agree. That's the fact of it. And then it's hard to think when you're in that moment when someone's disagreeing with something, and it's usually why we get so emotionally affected, I guess, is because it's usually something we're so passionate over. So we've got this real passion for something, someone comes in and just blatantly poo-poos it or something, you know, we're a bit personally offended when it wasn't a personal attack at all. That person just, like I said before, they might not want to understand that, and they don't have to. Like, that's cool. Like, but yeah, it's hard to not take personally people disagreeing with you, but yeah, it's just a real fact of life.
Definitely, man. And like, once again, I'm exactly the same as you. I was definitely one of those people back in the day when I was like between the ages of 18, 21, trying to be cool. You're trying to establish your own identity. You care a lot about what people think. So you do want to be that like, oh, fuck that guy. Like, I can't believe that guy's doing that or whatever. Whereas sort of, it's like you said, like you either grow out of it or you stick to it. And if you grow out of it, if you see the other side of that wall and go, hey, like, you know, this dude's starting a rap career. good on you, man. Like, does it make you
Sick.
happy? Fuck yeah. Does it affect me? No. So go for it,
Yep.
mate. Do whatever makes you happy. And I think once you get to that point where I think once you put yourself out there like we do, and you're a little bit more vulnerable, you're like, people might not like what I'm doing, but
Vulnerability is the key, I reckon. Yeah,
that's it,
go
man.
on.
When people are too safe nowadays. People want to be safe. Even the way they communicate and they sort of argue, they're all online, so they don't have that face to face. Like even when you go to work, like I'm a teacher, so like we do a lot of
sick.
communication via email. Yeah, I love it, man. It's the greatest job in the world.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, man. But at the same time, it's like, people are very confident over email to be like, oh, you did this wrong, you did this. And then if you go up to them and be like, hey, like, I saw your email, I'm really sorry. Like, I didn't do that. I fucked up. That's on me. But that communication of, talking to someone in person, you get more, it's vulnerable. They're vulnerable.
Yeah.
They're not going to G up on you because they're vulnerable. They're in a space where they're like, I need to defend myself here with, an adult conversation. And
Here
then all of a
now,
sudden,
in front of this real life person. Yeah.
exactly. And like, I'm not saying you go up to him and be like, oh, what'd you fucking say to me? You're like, hey, you had a problem. I'm sorry. I fucked up, but like,
Yeah.
I just want you to know I'm sorry. And then all of a sudden they're vulnerable and they go, yeah, look, I'm sorry too. It's amazing. You see, the nicest people can be the biggest dicks online,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think I was actually had a conversation with this last week to a friend, like just a conversation because me and another friend, like we just got into like a shitty little argument over messages, and I was pretty upset about it, like I didn't want to feel how I did and I didn't want that person feeling how they did. And I went to my really logical friend and he's like just the king of logic. And I knew straight away he was the person to go talk to about it. And I said, look, me and this person got into a bit of a blue over messages, rah, rah, rah. Like I gave him the rundown about what happened and that. And he just said, he was like, why didn't you just call him or something? Like, or why didn't you just
talk? Yeah.
Just talk to him. And then
talk it through.
He was just like, if you said what you said at the start and they heard your tone, none of that would have happened. Like it's just hard because you can't pick tone over text and that. So like, 100% face to face is so good because everyone, like you're there. It's the moment, if you read an email, you might have just read one that pissed you off and then you carry that energy over to replying to another one. Yep. And then you're like, brr, and then like so angry, you might have screenshotted that, sent it to a friend. They're angry about it. You're angrier about it now. And then like, all of that could have been avoided if you were just face to face having that. So
exactly,
that's what we could take away from this is it's important to try, I don't know, I guess if you do feel that emotion initially, maybe stop for a second. I'm more just talking, I'm just learning myself here. Next time I'm in that situation where I'm reading something that might irk me a bit, or I might think it's worded a bit different, or I don't agree with it, I might step back a bit and just pretend it's a verbal conversation and maybe try to pick some different tones. Maybe even try read it in a nice tone, something like that. Yeah. That might help me understand where the person's coming from and have less of these altercations happen.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I think, that's one thing. I feel like we're almost coming full circle. Like we've become so online, but yet, like, I don't know if you felt this through isolation, through this whole sort of turning a positive on the whole COVID-19 thing, is the fact that, I've been sort of craving that, like, physical communication. So like, even doing this, man, like this is great. I love doing this.
This is good.
But man, I would have fucking loved to have you come in to like the studio and fucking done that. So I'm 100% going to fucking record this, like do another one. We'll do another one down the track. But like that.
Coming out at this bar one day. Coming out at me bar. Fucking.
Mate, I'm just like my business brain is going now. You need to do something in that bar. I don't care if it's like you record you and a couple of the other boys having a chat about music, like, like 15 minutes of music chat or something. Got to be done in that bar, bro. I fucking like everything in it is so awesome, man. It's it's fucking sick. But like sort of that's, I guess, with you with your interviews, man, it's easy to shoot someone a question for like your blog and be like, hey, can you reply to this? But you putting the band on the spot once again, it sounds shit, like, I mean, but they're vulnerable. They're on the same level as you, and you're just chatting to them as a person. and they're able to give you honesty, sort of a proper chat than this fabricated sort of response to a question, which is why what you're doing is so amazing with these bands. It's like they're sort of untapped. They can, I'm not saying like you're going to catch them out and they're going to say something stupid, but you know, you're getting them who they are, and that's
it's
the best
raw
thing
and
about it.
relatable and personal, and that's the whole thing, like
Exactly.
raw and relatable. Even to the point, like it's cool sometimes, like just the variations of where they're hosted, right? Like, so that first one was on the steps at a record store. A couple like early ones are dead set. I'm sorry for this, Pixie. She runs the zoo. And like I used to snuck in. That's actually how I met her, you know.
Fuck
And
yeah.
and like we've become sort of like, I don't know, I'd say friends, but like we definitely network. I guess I don't know, she doesn't really know this, but I go to her with basically all my stuff I need good mentoring on. Like when, even if it's just
Yeah.
like an email structure or like how do I go about booking a band, like stuff like that. She's just always so transparent, so happy to help and stuff. And it's just so like the way I literally met her was I was at it was Mountain Goat Valley Crawl, I
I
think.
fucking love that festival, man. That is
Oh,
the
it's good.
greatest thing that has happened to Brisbane music in so long, man.
And
The amount of bands,
that ties into
bro,
why the scene's so sick.
the amount
But
of
yeah,
bands that I discovered from that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
you're right. Yeah, so the Gooch Palms were playing at the zoo, and I wanted to chat to them. So sort of just rocked up as I did with my shit. I was recording off my iPhone at the time, like, and I was literally just sort of waiting by the curtain for the secchi to like look away or something. As soon as he looked away, I just went bang. I just like
Bro,
snuck backstage, and
man,
I
that's
walked in
those are
there and like.
stories. Those are stories that when you're fucking massive, those are stories that you're gonna fucking tell. Like, oh yeah, this one time I snuck back, like the secchi looked away, I fucking charged. Like that's dope, man. That's like
That's how
old
it
school
started.
journalism shit. Yeah.
That's how it started. Like I
Yeah, man.
busted in. So like I walked in, I had my phone, and then like my first thought was like, oh fuck, who's gonna hold my phone? Like I was like, I need to record this. I didn't usually have someone like holding it, but I just snuck in. So I was like, that was my first thing. Went over and talked to Leroy and Kat, and who are the Gooch Palms, and they were just like straight away like, yeah, just keen. They're like, yeah, let's do it now. And I was like, oh fuck, I sort of need, like, they sat on either side of me too, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. And then yeah, their manager actually held the camera for me. I was like,
That's
yeah,
so
I want to do
dope.
this thing. We need to do something. And then yeah, they're like, oh, manager can. He was just like walking past. He held it up for us, and then yeah, then like Pixie came in and was like, oh, what's going on? And you know, and I always sort of started it when I was sneaking back and like doing it that way. I'd always go in and go, look, I'm not meant to be here. And I'd just tell them exactly what happened. I'd just say, look, I'm not meant to
Yeah.
be here. I'm doing this thing. I snuck in. If I have to go, that's cool. Otherwise, I'd fucking really love to chat to you, you know. And they were always just stoked. They're just like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So,
Man,
yeah.
that's unreal, man. I love hearing that. And to hear that about, excuse me, too many beers. To hear that about like just local bands that they're so, and I'm not advocating for everybody to do what you do. Okay, you're a
Me neither.
professional. You're
Me
a
neither.
professional. You've been in the business for a while now. But I love that. Like there was a time, man, at Splendor, and I think we were watching Junies, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I was like crowd surfing, and I got dropped, and all I see, the only person to pick me up, I see this big fucking fluffy white head of hair. It was Benny from from Skeggs. And literally, I just looked at him. I was like, dude, you're the only one that ever picked me up. And he looked at me like, and he just looked at me with, and it was the first moment that I was like, one, you're a fucking ripper bloke, but two, we're the same. You love Junies. I love Junies.
Yeah.
Just because you know that feeling of like, you know, and you get it too when you interview the bands. You're like, you guys are just like me. It's just you're on the different side of the stage. Like we're all fans.
You always see, like we were talking about James earlier, James Tidswell from Soho, and like you always see
Bro.
him and Luke
Oh.
Henry at gigs. Like you
Mate,
always see him in
I'll
the
tell
crowd,
you-
fucking.
I'll tell you
it.
why I love James so much. Okay,
Yeah,
I've
go.
seen James twice in person. Right, first time was at Splendor. It was fucking late at night. I was blind. I saw it. My girlfriend was like, "Oh, is that the guy from Violent Soho?" I went, holy fuck. And I literally was so drunk, I just fanboyed out. I was like, I
Yeah.
can't talk right now. He literally came over, put his arm around me, and I've got the photo, but I might put it up on this fucking thing. But anyway, he
Send it to
literally
me
was
anyway.
just like,
I wanna see
yeah,
it.
bro, I'll send it to you. He literally put his arm around me and he said, mate, if you love Soho, I love you. And I was like, holy fuck. And then after that, I got drunk again at a Dear Seattle concert at Crowbar, and he was
nice.
there. And this is the moment where I knew he was the nicest dude ever. I
Yep.
was pissing, and he took a piss, and then I finished, was washing my hands, and I was waiting for him, and then he came over, and he was like, how you doing, mate? I was like, dude, I don't know if you remember me, but I took a photo with you at Splendor, and I just wanted to say that you're the nicest guy I've ever met. And like, he was some fucking blind dude in a public toilet talking to him. He had all right to be like, mate, can you leave me alone? But he was like, oh, dude, I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for everything. Like, I love the fact that you love And I was just like, you don't get that in... Like, I don't know another genre of music besides that sort of... Man, they're just so nice.
People.
And I'm just like, you're so
people.
famous. Like, you don't need to do this to me. I'd love you regardless. But I was just like, fuck, you're the fucking man. Like, you know what I mean?
It's cool. So, Dear Seattle is signed to Domestic Lala, and that's James's record label. And
yeah, man.
it's just
greatest
so cool.
thing ever.
Yeah, it's so cool how, like, again, talking about how everything ties in, and it's just cool that, James has made it in a band, and now he has that platform and has the resources, I suppose, to now help other bands, and that's what I mean. That he's such a genuine person in just being a great fan of music and doing shit like that. And it's really cool to see him using his resources and that to make these other bands known to us. I wouldn't fucking have heard about Dear Seattle if it wasn't for that. I went and saw him.
Oh, yeah.
It was at Crowbar. I wonder if it was the same show. I don't know.
I reckon it was the same show, man. It was fucking loose as. It was so packed. And, bro, you know why it's hard to tell? Because we all look the same. Everyone that listens to that music all looks like it. Literally, everyone looks like you and me, man. My girlfriend came with me, and she's like, "Everyone looks like you," and I was like, "Yeah, I know."
I actually had to check before. I was like, "Fuck, why am I wearing a beanie?" And then I was like, "Oh wait, that's the other dude." Okay. I'll just say about earlier we were talking about sneaking into stuff. So
yeah, man.
I do not advocate it either. Is that the word?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But I also, I'm also going to not tell anyone not to do it, sort of thing. But one thing I did learn, what I do want to say is, when I was starting out, like everyone when they start out, I was naive. There were fucking shitloads of shit I didn't know. I'm still in that boat. Like if anything, I've learned better etiquette surrounding this stuff. So one thing I know now to do is one thing that never even crossed my mind, and I'm so glad that experience happened out there, and I met Pixie there, and she was so welcoming, this dude who just stuck in to fucking talk to a band playing at her venue. I was really lucky she was so welcoming, but that was something I never ever thought about. I didn't think about who I might have affected by sneaking in. That wasn't in my head at all. That manager might want to get that band. They need to catch a flight in an hour. They don't have the time for this interview. And the band themselves might have forgot that the manager's out there waiting for them or something. I just had fucking no idea about all the different strings attached. So I guess I've learned better etiquette now to where sometimes if it's a new venue or something, I'll even just give them a heads up. I'll be like, hey, this band's playing here. Not sure if they mentioned anything. I'll be coming in at this time. I just try and give people, especially the venues or maybe even the managers or something like that, just a heads up, or at the very least. And that's something I never even considered. You just think it's just
and it's
fun.
that. I guess it's that learning. You're always gonna learn, and I guess the different, and I'm not trying to make an excuse for you, because I know, look, let's be real. You fucked up in that, you did sneak in, and you were, like you said, you're naive, but you did go in there. You went in there with the right, you didn't go in there because you're like, oh man, I want to party with Gooch Palms. We're bored, we're together. Oh, I know them. You went in there because you wanted to give them something. You gave them a product. You gave them something that they can use. They can repost the Tin Wag footage. I guess what anyone needs to know and understand, and I think it comes, and sort of you would resonate with this, is, you know, it looks very casual. It looks very like, oh, you know, we're just a couple of boys hanging out. But I guess I'm not saying we're professionals, but like there's a lot of preparation that goes into this. Like, don't I want people to understand, like, don't think we just go into this or I just go into this. Like, look at me with you. Like, bro, I stayed up all night watching your videos, so I knew, even though I knew you, just because I wanted to be 100%
the refresher,
on top of the
man.
game.
Like, it's good to refresh yourself anyway.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like, we all sort of go in there, like, you know, you would have done your research, you would have been prepared, you would have done everything. And like I said, I'm not saying do it, but preparation is everything. And if you want to do something, you got to do it 100% easily.
Yeah, give it your all. Like, there's no point not giving it your all. And like, even to the point, you're so right. So like, like even when you were helping me set up Zoom, like I had not done Zoom until now, and it's so cool. Like, even just through the week, you were so helpful. Like, I guess, a lot of people wouldn't understand that kind of preparation. You know, we've been chatting for about a week.
We're all the same, man. We're all the same. We're all on the same platform. We're all humans. We all have our own fucking, you know, things that we have to deal with. Like, the amount of times I'll ask someone for a podcast and they'll be like, look, man, I'm not that comfortable. And like, you know, I could be a real arsehole and be like, oh, bro, like, fucking just do it. But, you know, you got to be respectful of, you know, other people's sort of thoughts. And I think making people comfortable, like, you know, I could have been like, not that I would have been, because that's not me, but I could be like, oh man, he's taking too long, fuck it. Like, some people would do that. Yeah. But being that, like, you want everyone to be comfortable. You want everyone to be like, you know, even when you went in and interviewed Gooch Palms, like, you didn't go in like, oh, fucking g'day guys, like, fuck, like, you made them comfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you made them comfortable enough that they let their manager hold your phone. Like, that's fucking wild, man.
If anything, I was probably borderline submissive. Like, I knew I wasn't meant to be there. I knew, like, if they didn't want me there, I'm fucking, you'll never see me again. Like, that was just how I always had it going into it. Like, I wanted it badly enough to do it, but then, like, to know that if there's any sort of like feathers ruffled or anything like that, I got to get out of there. Like, I do not want to take away from their craft or take away from their experience, or like, you just never know. So you do have to be cautious of people's feelings and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably good that you actually said that, so we don't have a million people trying to break into the zoo.
yeah. Like I said, I was fucking naive. I knew jack shit.
Yeah, man, but that's, I like the fact that you're transparent about that. So many people would just sort of, I guess, how would I say it? They just sort of play the role of like, oh, you know, like, I was meant to be there, like, of course. But that raw honesty of like, fuck, man, I snuck in, I shouldn't have been there, but like, I did what I wanted to do. Like, that transparency for your audience, people are like, hey, this fucking dude's just like me. Like, this dude is just a regular bloke who loves music. Like, pretty much all of us. Like, we're all just, you know, every time I get someone on my podcast, it's someone who I genuinely like and who I want them to have a platform where they can go, like, where people can go, hey, like, these guys are fucking awesome. Like, why am I sort of not listening to them? Or for you, it's like, why am I not listening to their music? They're such good guys.
I'm gonna send you pictures of all the different shit I have in the bar. Like, once we get off this, I'm gonna actually show you, because I reckon you're just gonna genuinely froth it.
Oh man, bro! If you ever want to have a tin wag at that fucking bar, even though I don't fucking do any music, I would love a tin wag.
I'm keen. Let's do it.
Fucking oath, man. We'll do it when ISO's done, because I want to get you in again, because I'm conscious of time. We are coming up to an hour, but I want to get you. Oh, bro, we can go. The only downside is my fucking AirPods are gonna fucking die soon, so
that's okay. That's okay. Definitely. Let's do this again for sure. Once we can visit each other in person, let's put that vulnerability to the test,
bro. Let's go to gigs. Let's go to gigs.
Yes.
I want it. Well, Crowbar turning it Brightside, taking over Crowbar, so we've got a bigger venue now.
Yes.
I do miss the iconic attic not really the attic. I call it the basement in Crowbar, but I'm very excited.
It was cool. It was just that typical dive bar, like, or not typical. That's probably not the right word at all, but like, it was like that. I want to use the word gross.
That really, it's not.
But I like it.
Can you say dirty in a really positive way? That's
like a
Krober.
dirty
I love
mullet.
it. I wouldn't,
Like a dirty
bro.
mullet.
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
wouldn't
kind
want
of
to change
dirty.
it. It is what it is. It's so good. I've that and two bars. I love and I can't wait to go back to would be Greaser and Crowbar. I love both of them, man.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
The whole vibe around Greaser just being underground, like you got the frames on the wall, the band's playing at like, you know, there's no stage, it's just they're playing at your level. Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
It's like a house party nearly.
Yes, exactly right, man. It's so good, bro.
Just quickly, how long did you say we have left? You cut out a little bit. Or like,
Oh,
how
sorry,
long till
man.
the hour?
I said we got 2 minutes till the hour, but bro, I don't mind. We could probably cut it off at an hour and then pick things up in person, bro.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do that because I've still got a fair bit to talk about. So,
bro,
yeah.
let's go. Fuck it. Who cares? I can go forever.
All right. Just quickly, like I just wanted to say about it's just crazy in these 2 years, like coming from hitting people up at a record store and like fucking like sneaking into venues and stuff like that to now it's at a point where like managers email me and they line everything up. Like it's still fucking surreal to me.
That's so fucking cool. But that's
like
hard work, man. You've done the grind, dude.
Like Michael is Selfish Sun's manager down in Sydney, I believe. And like he hit me up. He's like, hey, there's this Brisbane band, Selfish Suns, like gives me lets me know about like what music they've recently done or like what tour they've recently done or their soon to be tour schedule and just stuff like that. And it's so surreal. Like, I don't know, like I guess in a way at the moment, just for myself, like I'm seeing the different ins and outs of that stuff, which was what I originally like wanted to start with. And now I'm getting to like meet these people face to face and it's so cool being involved with that. Like, yeah, it's just crazy coming from like sneaking into venues and chatting to people off the bat to fucking dead set having managers of bands tee up interviews with me.
Yeah.
Like that blows my mind. Even you hit me up, bro. Just
I've been meaning to do it for ages, man. Don't even like you were one of the first ones, but like it sort of took off a little bit and I sort of had people like I'm not toot my own horn, but I had a lot of people contacting me and I kind of had a lot of people on and then it finally got to a lull where I was like, yes, I can finally and I'm not taking anything. I'm not taking anything away from the people who contacted me. I love them. They contacted me for a reason because they love my platform, and I have been like commenting and reaching out to them. But to be able to just go sick, I've got free time. I want to reach out to this bloke and have that happen. Like, man, I'm stoked, man.
I fucking like when your inbox come through, and I'm just like, holy fuck, I'm gonna be on a podcast. Like, I'm just like that. This is probably the most surreal moment yet to date. Like, and I straight away screenshotted that and sent that to Mum. I was just like, Mum, check this out. This is fucking sick.
That's dope, man. Well,
so
likewise, it was
to tell the blokes at work when I get home.
Right, it was the reverse too, man. I was so happy when you were like, fuck yeah, like isn't that funny? We're fucking sitting here, we're having a gay out.
I'm happy with it. I'm fine with it.
I was gonna ask you, man, and I think it's sort of growing, like it's probably gonna be very similar to the answer that I give. But do you feel as though when you're getting to that point where managers are contacting you, you feel almost a little bit extra pressure now that sort of like do you feel that like subconsciously, like you feel like, oh shit, like they want me to do this, so I need to perform? Like how are you dealing with that?
Probably not in that sort of way, like, but there's definitely that extra. It's a good feeling of pressure. Like I feel like it's good. It's that holy shit, this is fucking legit now. It's like holy fuck, like someone somewhere heard about me. Like it's just that extra. I don't know. Like if anything, it drives you to want to do better. It drives you to want to really, 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 really fucking deliver for that band because someone's heard about you somewhere. Like it does. It puts a pressure on. Yeah, and I don't think I ever feel like I need to. Oh, how do I word this? Like deliver a certain, I don't know, like a generic standard or anything like that. Like I just feel like I need to. I just take it as a personal challenge nearly every time, and I just say, look, because like I could be swamped in day-to-day life, whatever, and I just go, nah, I'm doing this and I'm giving it my all. Like you said earlier, like research what tour they're in, what singles they dropped recently, like. Sometimes I get sent stuff that isn't released yet. That's fucking unreal. And like
that's fucking wild, man.
It is wild.
And you know what's cool about that, man, is it's the trust in that, because not like there's no way they would release that sort of shit to sort of like, you know, someone like, I don't know, they might, but like, you know, Triple J or RIP, but Channel V when it was around, but like they wouldn't release that to them because that would be too much of a gain for those guys to be like, hey, we just got this this new release song from so and so. But for you, like they obviously have so much trust to go, hey, this guy's a good bloke. He's going to do the right thing. He's going to see this song and then like sort of hype it up as it's like about to be properly released. Like that's such a compliment for you, man.
Well, you're honestly probably like the third person I've even told that happened to. Like it's like such a, you're probably like the third person I've even told that.
But that's sort of like a testament to you, man. You don't need that like sort of clout. You don't need that. No. Oh, look at me. It's like, I
don't want it, bro. That would put pressure on me. That would make shit hard. I'd be like, fuck, like this person thinks I'm that person, but I'm just this person. Like, nah.
That's it, man. When you're truly doing something that, you know, you were saying, like, we talk about money and like I talk about money and like have a laugh about it. But for me, man, I didn't give a fuck. Like, you're probably the same. We got jobs. We can pay the bills. But to be able to talk, like for me, to sit down with Connor from Bugs or sit down with like someone who owns a clothing label or someone to sit down with that person, dude, that's worth all the money in the world. Like I don't give a fuck about making money, but having this connection with someone who is, you know, like who's someone who you always wanted to talk to. Like there's so many people that are like, oh, I'd love to sit down with this person. If we get big enough, man, we get that. We get to just sit down. Like time is, you can't equate time to money. Time is worth so much more than money. And if I have an hour with someone who I look up to and I really appreciate, bro, it's so much better. It's so much better than getting paid. I don't give a fuck. Money does nothing, but
time is the valuable thing. Time is so valuable. Oh god, I can't believe you said that. That's like how I fucking makes a lot of decisions really. Like I think about, I don't know, even something really simple like whether I want to get food delivered today. You know, I'll be like, oh, it's $9 delivery. I'm like, it's going to take me half an hour to like drive there and shit. It's like, actually my time's worth more than that $9. I'll get it delivered. Like that's like a really basic example, man. But oh my God. Yeah. I've never, when you said that, that just hit me. Fuck yeah.
Man. I'm glad. But you know what, that sort of, to me, that sort of signifies, like there's always going to be people that want to make money out of things. But to hear someone that goes, hey man, no, I just love what I do. Like, I guess for me, it stems from my job. Like, you know, I teach kids, like I pretty much imprint on them sort of like, you know, how to be humans. Like my time with them is invaluable. Like I don't care how much I get paid, but to be able to put kids in the right direction. And I'm not saying I know all the answers and that I'm fucking a genius, but to sort of imprint on them just like good values, like that's worth so much more than what I get paid, man. I'd do it for free if I could. And I'm not just saying that because it's like, oh, I want to look like a good guy. Like 100%, man. I'd just be like, fuck yeah, you're doing good in the world. Why the fuck would you care about the money?
It's hard to be because you're in like we're all in that position where money is a thing. So like it's fucking, we all need to survive, and like it would be so cool to just be able to run with our real passions. But unfortunately, that is.
Oh, hang on, you're dropping out a bit.
Yeah, I'll just.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
On me.
Oh, you're back. It's all good. Yeah, bro, don't stress. It's probably, is it mine?
Hang on, it's all good now. It's good now.
There we go. We're good now. Yeah, it's no stress about that, bro. I just cut out that little Zen bit.
That's all good.
Yeah, but fuck yeah, man. It's so, like we said at the start of the podcast, doing full circle, it's so good to meet people who are similar, like who value the same things. And I think the cool thing about this podcast with you is, I know we obviously spoke about Tins&Gigs, but the best thing about this is people see you. Like people see you, the guy that runs the page. They're like, hey, this dude's fucking awesome. Like why I need to be around. Yeah, exactly, man. Fuck, I love it, bro. But yeah, hey, we might slow it down because, bro, I know, and I'm not saying that because I've got other shit, like more, if I had it my way, I'd talk all night, mate. But I reckon
It's all good.
let's fucking pencil another one in when we're in person, because I want to literally sink a few more tins.
Yes, please. When restrictions are lift, yeah, fuck yeah. I'm
bro,
inviting
I
you
can't
around.
wait.
I'm coming to see
Dude,
your crib.
Tin Wags, 100%, bro. I'll be there. I will fucking be there.
Beautiful.
And,
All right.
anyway, man. I'll probably keep you on the line.
Yeah.
I'll hit the record. But I'll stop the record button. But where can people find you? I want you to go ham. How are we gonna make Tins and Gigs the biggest fucking music brand in Brisbane? Go. Like, where can we
All
find
right.
you?
So Instagram, Tins and Gigs, just at Tins and Gigs. On Facebook again, just Tins and Gigs. Look us up. You can go Tins and the little and symbol Gigs, or just Tins and Gigs. It shows up anyway. If you see me around, especially, come up and say good day or something. Or if you see anyone wearing a Tins and Gigs shirt or something, fucking that's a good way.
I need to get me one of those.
Hit them up. We've got some long sleeves coming out in a month or so.
I'm getting that. I'm on it.
And we just got a new website, which I actually fucking designed myself and did all the shit. I didn't think I'd be able to. It was actually a lot easier than it seems.
And can confirm it is mobile friendly, because I used it this afternoon.
Yes. So www.tinsandgigs.com.au. And yeah, you can go to our social media shit from there too as well. So
I love it. And once again, can also confirm, if you see him at a gig, he will be very lovely to you, because my mate Curtis raved about you when he met you. He said you probably don't even remember him, but he said he's the nicest bloke ever. So that was fucking awesome, man. Dude, I really appreciate you doing this. I really appreciate you spending the time to chat to me.
Thank you.
Guys, mate, let's do it again. I'm so excited. But go follow Tins and Gigs. Please get around it. I cannot even express how many bands that local Brizzy bands I've found because of you, man. I love what you do. I love you as a person. It's so great. Guys, if you love Inner City Hermit, you know all the shit. At Inner City Hermit, go follow my stuff, subscribe, whatever, man. We're putting Brisbane up there. Fuck Sydney and Melbourne. We're putting it up there. Yeah, boy. All right, brother. Thank you so much, man.